My name is Kelly Hart. I recently traveled to the Soviet Union with a group of Canadians and fellow Americans. I took with me a videotape about my life in the United States, including several interviews. This was translated into Russian, so it was readily understood. I carried a small, battery-operated television in a backpack and frequently showed the videotape wherever I happened to be. People were fascinated and moved, and they often responded by making statements for American audiences. In the 4 cities we visited, Kiev, Cherkasy, Odessa, and Moscow, our group was free to go and do as we pleased. We mostly chose to mingle with the people, often making friends in the street and being invited into their homes. We found the Soviet people warm and gracious. I would like them to communicate directly to you through their music, speech, and actions. This program is a reflection of my experience. Several of our group wandered into the Odessa Zoo. We carried balloons and peace buttons to give away. These were an immediate hit with the youngsters we met. We had already discovered that gift-giving is a national pastime in the Soviet Union.
Одним шматком можно целый 100 лет. А если его срезать, знаешь, сколько у него сала? Мяса у него нету, а сала у него в одном глазе можно прожить 100 лет.
Мне кажется, что они голодные. Ребятки, идемте лосы есть.
А вы откуда приехали к нам?
Я американец, я из Вашингтон штат и Калифорния, Канада. Да. Далеко. Далеко, очень далеко. Да.
Ребятам галстуки подарите. Подарите галстуки. Ну что вы не... Ну ничего страшного. Ну пора.
Before we were able to offer our gifts to this group of young pioneers, we were surprised by a spontaneous gesture of friendship.
Завяжи как надо.
Окей.
Спасибо большое. Вот это нужно будет.
Большой пионер. Большой пионер.
Чтобы показать свою солидарность.
Перед таким важным. Да, это такое, что...
Да, спасибо.
Все, я уже.
Голубмера.
Спасибо большое. Спасибо.
Спасибо. Это маму делает.
The elephant keeper invited me in for a closer look at the elephants. Soon we were joined by other members of the staff, including the manager of the zoo. I showed them the videotape about my life, and although we couldn't speak directly to each other, we felt a real kinship. They appreciated the chance to glimpse an American's life, and the manager gave me a large photograph of a tiger with a Russian inscription on the reverse side. The elephant keeper indicated that he wanted to say something for the camera. My name is Jenna. I work at the zoo. I want us all to preserve the nature that surrounds us. We have a mutual loneliness because of the differences in our customs. We desire one world, so our children will be happy, with blue sky, so we can look at the birds and the llamas. Our children could be happier than us. Maybe we can live more cleanly. We should take our hands together in friendship with one another. At the request of one of our group, the tour bus stopped at this Russian Orthodox church on the outskirts of Cherkasy. Many of us were especially interested in religious activities in the Soviet Union. We visited numerous churches throughout our stay and usually found them well attended no matter what the hour or the day. Although our visit to this church was very brief, we were openly accepted. The desire for friendship with Americans expressed here was typical of the response we received on many occasions.
Такой, спокойной жизни на земле, чтобы был мир во всем мире.
Babushka says that she wants, in the name of our children and in order there will be life on the land, she wants peace. That is the essence, that's the main thing she wants.
А вы уже записали? Записали? Ну ничего.
Спасибо. In Cherkasy, we visited a secondary school and were greeted with a presentation by some of the students.
Friendship Club in our school. The aim of it is to develop friendship among the children of our country and other countries. The pupils take an active part in this club. We hold lectures, debates on different questions as the life of the children in the world, international situation, children are fighters for peace and others. We have many friends in our country and other countries. The members of our club hold fairs of solidarity and donate money to the Soviet Peace Fund. Let us be friends and fight for peace and friendship together. We think that you will be our pen friends too.
20 million lives were lost in the Second World War. The villages, factories, plants, schools were destroyed. Our town Cherkasy was completely ruined. As we know, during the Second World War, Soviet Union and the United States were allies, and fought the fascists together. Let's fight for peace and disarmament together just now too. But first we must be a nuclear freeze and then disarmament. We want to express our desire with a song.
For our faculty in my department for whole newspaper.
Yes.
And we'd like to dedicate one subject in my newspaper for celebrating New Year, because this newspaper will be dedicated to New Year Eve. And I would like you to put to me a recipe or one dish you usually cook for a New Year party to put in my newspaper.
Fresh produce markets like this one in Odessa are found throughout the Soviet Union. They represent one of the few areas where free enterprise flourishes. Residents of rural areas are allowed up to 1 acre of land for their private gardens, and the produce from these gardens can be sold at these markets. The prices obtained here are generally much higher than at the state-operated stores, but the variety and quality is also much greater, so they are well patronized. Tourists are often discouraged from photographing these markets because it is felt they represent a backward way. I found their color and charm very inviting. Often the vendors were pleased and flattered that I wanted to record them in their wares, and on several occasions I was given a sample as a show of their appreciation.
В знаменование столетия со дня смерти Владимира Ильича Ленина.
Рождение.
То есть рождение, да. Значит, за доблестный труд. За доблестный труд. Вот здесь вот есть и надпись такая. За доблестный труд.
Yes, all the medals except this one were given to my grandfather for his great work during the World War II against fascist invaders.
Я почувствовал, что среди американских людей тоже идет большая борьба за мир.
I felt that among American people there is also a great fight and great desire to peace.
Прошу передать всему американскому народу, если будет возможность у вас, мои наилучшие пожелания в борьбе за мир.
I want to send, if it will be possible, to Americans my best wishes.
Большое спасибо.
Thank you for your attention.
Private automobiles are rare in the Soviet Union. This has the advantage that urban areas are generally much quieter and less polluted than they are in the United States. Mass transit systems are available everywhere and are usually quite efficient and inexpensive. You can ride the metro in Moscow for 5 kopecks, or about a nickel. Buses and trolleys are numerous in all cities. We found people were usually eager to help tourists find their way. People generally seemed much less repressed and withdrawn than I have been led to expect. There is an open curiosity and strong intellectual questioning apparent on many levels. Bookstores are very common, and the walls of people's homes are often lined with books. I never felt that I was under surveillance, even though I was very conspicuous with my videotape equipment. I wandered in the streets, took the metro and trolleys, and just followed my impulses to encounter interesting material to record. Generally, people seemed to either ignore my presence, or they were flattered or made a bit self-conscious by my attention. We arrived in Kiev on the first day of a 3-day celebration commemorating the October Revolution of the Bolsheviks' victory over Tsarist rule. This is roughly equivalent to our 4th of July celebration and is marked by many of the same patriotic displays. Spirits were high, despite the drizzle, which didn't seem to deter the many spectators and participants. Although most of the signs and placards were meaningless to me, I did recognize several proclaiming Mir or peace in Russian. Ordinary billboards advocating Mir are common throughout the Soviet Union.
Традиції активно діють положення закону трудові колективи. Ученикам об'єднання Київ, ура! На площі колони виробничого об'єднання електроприлад підприємство виповнилося 50 років. Виробничні об'єднання досягнуло Святковий привіт орденоносному колективу об'єднання електроприлад. Ура!
Спасибо.
Колектив виробничого об'єднання імені Артема. Рахунок наступного року тут вже працюють 16 життів. Бригади. Святковий привіт артемівцям! Ура!
The Soviet people suffered so enormously from the devastation of World War II that it is still very fresh on their minds. From the horror of that war, in which 1 out of every 8 persons was killed, The Soviet leaders have concluded that they must maintain enormous defenses to avoid any further wars. Unfortunately, the defensive aspect of their military stance is often overlooked in this country. Patriotism runs very strongly in the Soviet character and is nurtured from an early age.
Where do you go out for fun in the evenings? What do you do?
Dancing. At evening? Sometimes at evening read a book, sometimes go to theater, to cinema, and maybe 90% of evening go to discotheque, to home with friends, with girlfriends, with boys, drinking, little, not much. Listen music, dancing.
These girls are ice skaters. They are friends of Alexei, whom we met on the street near the hotel. He is trying to improve his English, so he offered to help with my interviewing. We had planned to visit the ice arena to record the skaters in action, but the arena was closed because of the festivities. So we decided to go to an ice cream parlor instead. Ice cream is a favorite dessert at any season. They wanted to see my hometown video, so Alexei arranged for us all to go to the apartment he shares with his sister and her family.
Миш, улыбнись, он смотрит на дядю.
Миша!
Ты такой будешь думать.
Миша, знаешь, как делать?
My name is Lena. This year I finished Teachers Training Institute of Foreign Languages in Kiev, and now I'm a teacher at school. And I want to say that American and Soviet people have much in common, and I think that we and American people want only peace, and we like to live in peace. I want the happy future for my child. I think that he will be happy only if all people will live in peace. And that is why I wish American people the happy future. I wish the happy future for their children and for all mothers in the whole world. And that's all. Thank you.
Спасибо.
Ну, как бы жду. Еще. Мама, скажи, такое побормотала. Не мешай. Ну да, конечно, не мешай. Еще. Наташа, мне кажется, еще.
our countries must be better, and these relations are dependent not only from our leaders, they are dependent from the American people, from the Soviet people, and from all the people of our planet.
Most larger cities in the Soviet Union have a circus of their own. This one in Odessa was filled to capacity, even without the team of hockey-playing bears that the Moscow circus sports. We were invited to a primary school in Odessa and were impressed by the facilities provided. The parents of most of these children work at a local factory, and some of the children stay overnight at the school. We were greeted by a program of ethnic dancing.
These 3 days were like a fairy tale for us, because we became real friends with our American friends, and it's very interesting for us. Because as for me, for example, I can't imagine before that we can become a good friends with Americans, because we live at different sides of the world, and now I see that we can live in peace, in peaceful coexistence. And I say to all American friends, let's give peace a chance.
Do you want me to send a message? Or?
Yes.
Well, I just want more Americans to come to the Soviet Union and meet more of my fellow countrymen. That's basically it. I mean, if people can get together and communicate, and they can think of all sorts of things to do together, and be just friendly and behave like people. The news media on both sides have been guilty of, at least of not straight misinformation, but at least of leaving things unsaid or omitting things. You can lie by omission, and this is where ordinary people can help if more people from both sides meet, so that they can work out what they should believe and not believe. Well, if fear has to be replaced by trust, or by, let's put it this, by a greater measure of trust, then, well, the ice will start drifting.
Yeah.
Barbara, to a certain extent,
yes,
what they've done is based on the same philosophy.
Yes.
It's a sort of a rebirthing of kids.
Yes.
So kids who experience such a place to share, to have time, will be a little bit different from those who will be developing without such a place.
Yes.
So they.
Повторяю, это только начало. Очень такое
But
скромное.
it's definitely very modest beginning. All environment should be changed
Yes.
to rebirth people who were unhappy to be born to the reality rather than gloomy, gray, and.
Нас интересует городской дизайн, который у нас на недостаточном уровне в Москве.
Well, being professionally educated as architects, they are thinking of the problem of the city design, of city planning.
Yes.
And it's definitely not satisfactory in a big city.
Yes.
You know, it's everywhere, Moscow not excluded.
Что мы делали здесь, она напрямую имеет выход сюда. Почему? Мало отреставрировать улицу, надо еще вдохнуть в нее какую-то жизнь.
Yeah.
То, чего
So,
мы хотим,
the
создать городскую среду.
the philosophy of the restoration of the city environment, which are the small model demonstrated here, they call it rehabilitation of a disgraceful environment.
Yes.
Дети нам постоянно помогали в этой работе. Они попросили что-нибудь принести.
And kids were supportive resources. They were making, they were brushing the things and painting them and helping them, assisting them, being there.
Yes.
If I wouldn't chance to meet with them, probably will continue the job with indoor garden transformation. But because I met them and tried to use this energy for the larger project I'm working on right now,
Yes.
not diminishing what they accomplish here, but it is something in the center of Moscow and so forth.
Мы с традиции тоже исходим.
But at the same time, they're interested to combine new and traditions.
Yes.
That's why when we invited them to think about New Year party, where old style, tradition, and new brand technology combined together, we'll invite people to communicate, to have a good time. It's no contradiction.
Like that building.
Yeah, and they want to use this building for the unusual enterprise. They want to invite musicians, and every musician will be playing from one window.
Huh.
So the orchestra lies behind them.
That's great.
And definitely people will be dancing down and
In the street.
in the street, yeah. Imagine it's a stage.
Yes.
And we are two actors pretending it's very cold. And we're running somewhere to drink a little bit. And we're fast. And this is not pretending, it's real cold.
Yes.
Across the street, there's another hairdress room. So we want to transform hairdress room into the place where everybody can have a makeup.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
So you can come in order to be a queen for
Queen for a day.
Yeah, queen for a day.
Oh,
It will be done as queen for a day and shot and shown on the huge screen, not necessarily be a professional actor or eminent woman.
Yes.
But I feel like a queen today.
Yes.
You'll tell to your friend or husband or to yourself. And come in and tell, I want to be a queen for a day.
Yes.
And you'll be chosen a dress, the form of your hair and the color of your skin. And somebody with a camera will present you to the public.
And you'll be on the big screen.
Yeah, on the big screen. It's a queen for a day.
That's great.
But definitely, a lot depends on the cooperation and participation on the side of our American friends.
Yes.
Because it will be incredibly more picturesque,
Yes.
unusual, vivid, and human. It will make a bridge this unique night
Yeah.
together.
I would love to see the screen.
Oh, let's go.
Okay. Oh my God.
It's bright for colored video.
Oh my God. Huge.
I am trying right now to connect together ready-made space bridge
Yes.
and all our experience of human potential
Yes.
together.
Wonderful. Excellent.
It's a source of transformation for the humanity at large.
Yes.
It's not the only topic for the space bridges. Regular, traditional, cultural elements of the world can communicate, but I prefer to return back to my roots.
I think
Our stay in the Soviet Union filled us with so many experiences of touching the Soviet people that we knew we would never be the same. We will always feel a deep bond with them. I am grateful to those people who opened their lives to us and who offered us a reflection of ourselves.
But right now we've seen Kelly's film, so it has great impression to us because of its idea of peace and idea of mutual friendship between us, between our countries. I think it's an essential thing, and this film, to my opinion, is it's the essence. It's a beginning of our relationship to know much more about each other, because I think that knowing each other, we don't have any crazy ideas to develop the end of the world. So I wish you be happy. I wish you prosperity and good luck. So thank you for your attention.